This is suprapatellar nailing in tibial fracture, a surgical technique. Now this is the multi-lock nail to be used in a suprapatellar nail. Now this is indigenous nail, Gadegone Pandya Shivshankar nail. Suprapatellar nailing in a semi-extended position to overcome the deformity, and mostly the indications are proximal, distal tibial fractures and segmental fractures. Now this is the nail available in size of 9, 10, 11 with a Herzog bend of 8 degree, 4 proximal locking screws and 3 distal locking screws. Now this is the nail freely available, and we have a provision of at least locking 4 screws in the proximal fragment to give a better stability. And for a distal, these are the sleeves available for interlocking screws. This is for and the main peculiar difference between infrapatellar and suprapatellar is the long sleeve which is required to go underneath the patella from the superior pole of the patella to the upper part of the tibia, and these are all locking sleeves. Mostly the proximal locking is through the jig. Now the position of the patient is semi-extended position that you know very well. Bolster under the knee to maintain the 15 to 20 degree of flexion. Before you start the surgery, you must have a landmark known to you. This is the suprapatellar, this upper pole of the patella, a quadriceps where incision is given. Infrapatellar portion, tibial tuberosity, this is the fracture side. And most important point which I modify is the just below the neck of the fibula where I pass a Steinmann pin to direct the guide wire, which is anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3. A small incision is given. This is the Steinmann pin I pass. Now this guides my guide wire nail as well as my reamers also. Before I start the surgery, I inflate the joint with near about 30 ml of saline, because most of the time patella is stuck with the femoral condyle, and in that case, if there is no mobility, you will not be able to succeed in negotiating the cleave. So therefore, I must ensure the palatability of the patella before I start the surgery, and Steinmann pin also helps me in reducing the fractures. Now this is a small incision is given. You may apply a tourniquet or you may not apply, that depends on your surgical acumen. And then a guide, this artery forceps is passed underneath the patella so that some adhesions, if they are there, they should be broken, and then you pass a sleeve. Now this sleeve goes underneath the patella. This is also a guide wire sleeve, but I modify a little bit. I pass a pointed trocar so that I am able to pinpoint exactly where is my point of insertion of the guide wire, and then I replace with a regular proximal tibial guide pin. It is little bit steep, 3 mm inside, so that it does not wobble here and there. And then you check APL lateral view, that is most important, and it should be anterior to the Steinmann pin so that it goes anteriorly parallel to the tibia. And this is the 13 mm proximal reaming. There is a stopper, you cannot go beyond that, and so that you go up to the fracture side. So this is a reaming of the proximal canal, so that, and there should not be any false passage, because in osteoporotic bone, possibly you may get translation of the nail while inserting. After this, replace the guide wire sleeve, and then regular guide wire is passed, and that is a long guide wire. It will go up to the lower tibial surface in the up to the epiphyseal place, and that should be in the center in AP and lateral view. So this is how we have to pass, and then use reamers. Now for proximal reaming, I preferably use a rigid reamer so that the track is made till the fracture side, so that the flexural reamer may not wobble here and there, because the proximal cavity is wide. And after this, then regular, we can have a sequential reaming with the flexible reamer. So this is the proximal reaming. and then I pass. This is the sequential reaming by the 9, 10, 11, whichever it is possible, we have to do it. And most important point while doing the reaming, that is you must stabilize the fracture with your hand, or you can use a clamp. The clamp assisted reduction you can have, and then pass your nail. It should be anterior to the Steinman pin so that it exactly goes anteriorly and in the center of the canal. Mostly the nail is passed manually, but last you may require some blows for inserting the last point, because the proximal part is of 13 mm, and so you may require, this is the, some blows of hammers are required, light, and our nail should be subarticular. It should be at least 3 to 4, up to 4 to 5 millimeter subarticular, otherwise you may get a irritation of the tibial tendon. So this is the locking, mediolateral 2 locks, and there are oblique locks at 60 degree and 45 degree. It gives enough stability to the proximal fragment. This is the oblique locking. It goes, one oblique goes to medial surface, other oblique goes to the lateral. And after this, the Steinman pin is removed, and in osteoporotic bone, you can replace with a polar screw. And most of the time, polar screw does not require, but in osteoporotic bone, posterior translation of the nail can be prevented. Just a minute, and this is how it is. You remove the jig, and after removal of the jig, washing of the canal is the most important thing we have to do. Whatever the debris is collected underneath, that should be sucked out. And then drain is not required. I have not kept drain till date. It is a minimal invasive surgery, small 3 incisions, in the 1 in suprapatellar and 2 in the, and you have to do a distal locking, depend on the stability of, this is the proximal locking, at least 4 screws. They are required. This is the distal locking. 2 screws are enough in a proximal tibial fracture, and in distal tibial fracture, minimum 3 screw and may require a 4 polar screw. So this is the most important thing, that ease of your C-arm positioning. You need not change the position. C-arm positioning is it, and great advantage. And this is one of the example you can see, follow-up X-ray, clinical protocol, and this is the one of the best method, and why suprapatellar nailing should be done, that is summarized in this minimal invasive surgery. I have no regrets, and I can use in all types of fracture. Thank you very much.
Thank you.